Welcome back, everyone, to Here Today, Gone Tomorrow, the show that dives deep into those fads that, took over the internet and then vanished just as quickly. Today, we are going all in on planking.
Planking, yeah.
Remember that? Back in the early 2010s,
Early 2010s, yeah. It seems like forever ago now.
when everybody was just like lying face down, stiff as a board,
In the weirdest place.
in the weirdest places. Yeah.
I mean, it was everywhere you looked, you know?
It really was. It was like this global phenomenon just took over the internet. And it's so interesting how something like so simple
Right.
could just explode like that.
Exactly. I mean, you'd see it like on park benches, supermarket aisles,
Throughout.
rooftops, even cars, moving vehicles.
Yeah, and so like everyone was trying to one-up each other.
Yeah, like, oh, I can plank in a more ridiculous place than you can.
Exactly. But here's the thing. You might be surprised to learn that planking, well, it wasn't actually born in the 2010s.
It wasn't.
It
Yeah.
wasn't.
Where did it come from then?
It has a much longer and more fascinating history than most people realize. Our deep dive actually takes us all the way back to the 1980s.
Wow, the 80s.
The 1980s. There was something called face dancing.
Face dancing. Okay.
Yeah. It was two high school friends in Washington State,
Mm-hmm.
Scott Amy and Joel Marshall, and they would just lie face down
Just lie face down.
in random spots,
Mhm.
just to get a reaction from people.
Oh, so like baseball fields? Or
Yeah, baseball fields, the mall, wherever, just to see what people would do.
That's hilarious.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
They called it face dancing, but it was essentially proto-planking. So even back then, people were drawn to the absurdity
Yeah.
of just lying face down
So lying face down. Yep.
in public.
Makes you wonder what the appeal is, right?
It is kind of weird when you think about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, the term planking itself didn't come about until 2008
Okay.
in Adelaide, Australia.
Australia. Got it.
And it was Sam Weckert, Darcy McCann, and Kim Berry. They're credited with coining the term and creating a Facebook page that really helped spread the craze.
A Facebook page. So that's how it started to like take off.
That's how it started to take off.
Get out there.
Yeah. And then by 2011, planking was everywhere.
It really was.
I mean, I remember like photos of people planking on statues, on top of cars.
like those inflatable gorillas you see at car dealerships.
The inflatable gorillas. Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, those geohash gatherings too.
The geohash gatherings. Yeah, people were planking at those too.
It was like the weirder the location,
The better.
the more popular it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And social media just like blew it up.
Oh, social media was huge.
Like made it a global thing.
Yeah, it's all about getting those internet points, those bragging rights.
Yeah, like look at me, I'm planking on this crazy thing.
Exactly.
And even remember like celebrities,
Really?
like Gordon Ramsay, Chris Brown,
Got in on it,
they were planking too.
which just fueled it even more.
It's like if they're doing it, it must be cool.
Right.
It's a classic example though of how social media just like
Amplified.
amplifies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes something and it's boom, it's everywhere.
Overnight.
Global phenomenon.
Yeah. But, as we all know, things took a bit of a turn.
Did?
Planking wasn't all fun and games.
Right.
Some serious controversy started to pop up. Kind of cast a shadow
Yeah.
over this seemingly harmless trend.
Yeah. We need to talk about those.
We do. We need to address those controversies head on. One of the biggest controversies
Okay.
was the accusation that planking was racially insensitive.
Okay. Yeah.
This is a sensitive topic, so it's important to approach it with,
Of course.
with nuance. Some people argued that the image of someone lying face down
right.
in a public space,
Yeah.
it evoked the image of enslaved Africans
On slave ships.
on the slave ships. Yeah.
During the transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah, and those concerns were amplified by articles like the one we have here
Oh.
from the Daily Mail back in 2011.
2011.
Yeah, highlighted outrage from bloggers and Twitter users
Okay.
who felt that planking, regardless of intent,
Yeah.
was trivializing
A really dark.
a dark chapter in history.
That's a good point.
It's a stark reminder that even seemingly innocent trends
right.
can have unintended consequences,
Unintended consequences and interpretations, for sure.
especially online.
Right. You don't always know how something's going to be perceived.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that leads us to another layer of controversy,
Okay.
the safety risks.
Right.
As planking became more and more popular, people started taking bigger and bigger risks
Yeah.
to get those viral photos.
Of course. Yeah.
And sadly, that led to several injuries
Yeah.
and even a fatality.
Oh, wow.
The Daily Mail article that we mentioned, It details the case of an Australian man
Oh no.
who fell to his death
From planking.
while attempting to plank on a 7th-floor balcony.
Yeah.
It's a sobering reminder
Yeah.
that the pursuit of internet fame can have devastating consequences.
It really can.
Yeah,
Yeah, it makes you think
it does.
about like what's worth risking your life for.
It does. It does. And the dangers associated with planking, they were widely reported. Authorities issued public safety warnings
Yeah, I remember that.
as the trend kind of spiraled
Spiraled out of control, yeah.
out of control. Yeah. It was a wake-up call
Yeah.
for a lot of people,
It was.
highlighting the need for responsible online behavior.
Definitely, for sure.
So as we move forward in our deep dive, let's explore how these controversies,
Okay.
combined with the inevitable,
Yeah.
fading of novelty, led to planking's decline.
Fair.
What can we learn from the rise and fall of this once ubiquitous internet trend? Stick with us.
Yeah, I'm curious to find out. Yeah, it's it's kind of crazy how, the internet just moves on.
It's true.
Like so fast, 1 minute everyone's planking, the next it's on to the next big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By late 2011, planking had pretty much, faded from view. The controversies definitely played a role.
Right.
But I also think, the novelty just wore off.
Yeah, it's like how many pictures of people,
Lying face down.
yeah, lying face down can you see before you're just like, all right, I've had enough of this.
Enough is enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it is interesting, though, because even though it's like a distant memory now, I feel like planking really did have an impact,
Oh,
on internet culture.
it was a pivotal moment, I think.
Yeah.
It showed us the power of social media to turn, the silliest idea
Right.
into a global phenomenon.
Overnight, practically.
Literally overnight.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just the virality. I
Right.
think planking also sparked some really important conversations,
Oh, absolutely.
about like online safety,
Yeah.
the ethics of like chasing internet fame, and even like, cultural sensitivity when it comes to online trends.
It made people think twice
Yeah,
about what they were doing online,
definitely.
both for themselves and for others.
Yeah, like what are the consequences of my actions,
Exactly.
Not just for me, but for other people too.
And those conversations, they continue today
Oh yeah, for sure.
as, new trends emerge
All the time, constantly.
constantly. And those lines between online and offline just keep getting blurrier.
Yeah, it's hard to separate them sometimes.
That is.
It's interesting looking back because planking almost seems like quaint compared to some of the stuff we've seen since then.
I know.
Like remember owling,
Owling.
where people were perching on things?
Oh, yeah, like owls.
Like owls, yeah.
Or Batman.
Batmaning hanging upside down.
Upside down by your sheets.
Why
It's
am
like,
I- what?
what were we doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah, those were
Interesting time.
interesting times.
For sure.
Yeah, and they all follow that same trajectory as planking.
Yeah, like big burst of popularity
Yeah.
and then poof, gone.
Gone.
It makes you wonder what those early plankers would think
I know.
if they saw what was happening on the internet today.
Can you imagine showing them TikTok?
Oh my gosh.
Their minds would be blown.
I think they would just short circuit.
They would.
It's just a reminder that the internet's always evolving.
It is.
And what seems weird today could be like normal tomorrow or, vice versa.
Or forgotten tomorrow.
Or forgotten. Exactly.
Yeah, but planking was a phenomenon.
It was
Knock
in
out
its
that-
own weird little way.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was a snapshot of a moment in time.
Yeah.
A testament to the creativity, the
Yeah,
absurdity,
yeah.
and sometimes honestly the recklessness of the internet generation.
Yeah, like that was us,
That was us.
We were the internet generators.
We were there.
We were planking.
We were planking. Yeah. And it definitely paved the way for all these, internet challenges and trends that came after it.
Oh, yeah. It was like the OG internet challenge, I feel like.
It was.
Yeah.
But as we've seen,
Yeah.
the internet,
It has a short attention span.
it does.
Very short.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into planking,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about its legacy.
Yeah. What do you think it is?
It was more than just a silly trend.
Yeah.
It was like a cultural moment
Right.
that reflected, like you said, the power of social media,
Yeah.
the risks of online behavior, and just the ever-changing landscape of internet culture.
Yeah. It's a story that reminds us to think critically,
Oh,
about the
that's right.
trends that we're participating in.
Yeah.
Be mindful of the consequences, of our
Yeah.
actions online, and just appreciate the fleeting nature of internet fame.
Temporary.
It really is.
Blanking might be a thing of the past.
It might be.
but the lessons we can learn from it,
They're still relevant.
more relevant than ever.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this whole planking thing,
Yeah.
I'm curious,
Yeah.
what stands out to you the most?
I think what's really fascinating to me
Yeah.
is how planking, even though it was like so short-lived,
Right.
it really does capture like the essence
Of that era,
yeah, of early 2010s internet culture.
the early internet.
Yeah, it was just this time of like so much enthusiasm for these viral trends.
Right.
And we didn't even like fully grasp
The consequences.
yeah, the potential consequences of what we were doing,
It was like we were all just figuring out this whole social media thing, you know what I mean?
Exactly. We were just riding the wave, like
Right in the wave.
without thinking about where it might take us.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
planking, I think, with all of its like absurdity
Yeah.
and danger and the social commentary, it kind of shows us how quickly things can change online.
Yeah, it's true.
Like what starts as like harmless fun
Right.
can become something much more complex.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, like, what's happening today
Oh, yeah.
that we think is just like a funny trend
Right.
that might be viewed totally differently
Totally differently in the future. Yeah.
in the future. Yeah.
Like we thought planking was harmless at first, right?
We did. We did.
But it brought up all these issues
It did.
of online safety, cultural sensitivity,
Hey.
ethics of, internet fame, and those are conversations that we're still having today,
We are.
just with different trends.
Yeah.
Planking kind of showed us
Yeah.
that the internet's a powerful force.
It is. It is.
It can amplify the best
Yeah.
and the worst of us.
It's true.
Yeah, and that's a lesson I think we should all remember
Absolutely.
as we navigate this digital world.
So long, planking. We'll always remember the joy you brought us, the conversations you started, and the reminder that even the silliest fads can tell us a lot about ourselves and our culture.
That's it for our deep dive into planking. We'll be back soon with another look at a fascinating internet phenomenon right here on
Here today, gone tomorrow.